Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. This is one of those weird situations where I have played the game already and even have extensive playthrough video of it on the channel, but I did not own it until now. A couple of new volumes in the Blind Swords series from Revolution Games and series designer Herman Luttman showed up for pre-order, so I ordered them, and while I was at it, I ordered all of the previous games in the series that I was missing, which included this one, Thunder in the Ozarks, Battle of Pea Ridge, March 1862, designed by series designer Herman Luttman and developer Fred Manzo. It does have Charlie Kibler counters and a Rick Barber map. It is attractive, at least on the Vassal module, which is how we played it. The map was a bit hard to read in places, but that might not be the case. This is, Western theater Civil War, where the terrain tends to be a bit more rugged than it was in some of the Eastern battles. So you've got this cover sheet, and this is the only one in the series that doesn't have a cover sheet that matches the rest of the series. On the back, we have a turn record track and a couple of other tracks, victory points, Van Dorn illness track. As I recall, he's drunk half the time or something like that. And then the broken track. I think the rumor that he was drunk was propagated by his enemies. We have 4 player aids, 2 of which are these identical full color on, I would say, a medium to heavy cardstock, satin finish, I would say. Player aids with the combat results table on one side, and on the back we have the cohesion tables and the terrain key. 90% of the table referencing you will do in the game happens off this particular card. Those are identical. There is, in addition, a Union player aid and a Confederate player aid, the fronts of which are identical. These are grayscale, and the backs of which contain the event descriptions. The Blind Swords system is a chit pull system, and among the chits that you can draw are not only activation chits for the units, but you can, or for the leaders, I guess you would say, but you can draw event chits, and then you can accumulate the event chits into a kind of hand and play them when you want them. So these are the descriptions of those chits. So more player aids. Unlike recent volumes in the series, Thunder in the Ozarks has just one book. There is no series rule book here. It's all just one book. This is a 24-page book, the majority of which looks like 18 pages or so, 18, 19 pages are actual rules. If I haven't said so already, this is a fairly light system. Much lighter and easier to play and learn than, say, Great Battles of the American Civil War, which is a series that I like a ton, but this is unquestionably easier to play. And I'm very pleased with the selection of battles that have appeared in this series so far. Yes, we have a couple Gettysburg games, but we also have things like Wilson's Creek and Pea Ridge and First Bull Run and stuff like that aren't necessarily the most popular battles. So we do have, as I recall, 2 scenarios here. Might be 3, though. There are a couple of optional rules as well. All right, so there is a short bibliography. There is the battle at Leetown, which is scenario 1. There is On to St. Louis, which is scenario 3, and That Tempest of Death, which is scenario 2, which is Elkhorn Tavern. This is the one that I've actually played, and again, there is playthrough video of that on the channel, so check that out if you want to see how the game system actually works. You will find us kind of learning it as we go, but it is nevertheless pretty easy to play. We have one counter sheet here, and it's on a thick brown core stock, 5/8 inch counters. They're pretty big counters, very easy to handle. The maps, there are 2 maps, which I think are not full-sized maps. I am correct about that. There are, okay, so here's one map. I think there's 2 half-sized maps. That looks correct, yeah. I remember being puzzled about references to map 1 and map 2, having only looked at the Vassal module when we played it. My opponent had the game, I did not. As you can see, some of the density of line work here is pretty dense, and it's pretty hard to read a lot of these hex numbers. Otherwise, the terrain it's a pretty playable map. And of course, with the very attractive classic Rick Barber art. I've gone off about Rick elsewhere, so I will spare you that again today. But there are 2 half-sized maps, so 1 full-size map total, but it's a bit unconventional of a map layout. So Thunder in the Ozarks, a game system I like. I am at this point, kind of committed to the U.S. Civil War as a wargaming topic, as you're doubtless aware if you're here. So I don't mind adding this to my library of, relatively extensive Civil War battle games, and I do like the system. And again, it's the Blind Swords system from series designer Herman Lettman, which is kind of confusingly branded because it's popped up from a couple of different publishers on a couple of different time periods. But nevertheless, when I think of Blind Swords, I think of these Civil War games, which I do like quite a bit. And I haven't really experienced the game system outside of that. So, in any case, if you have found this video of use, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support Ardwulf's Lair, please do check out the links to the Patreon, the merch store, and the Ko-Fi in the video description. Until next time, thanks again for watching, and happy wargaming.